I'd like you to start in child's pose. And don't get any crazy ideas. It doesn't mean we're going to be taking it easy. It's just a really easy way to transition to where we're going. But it is a really nice way to start. Just putting the head down. Letting your third eye, which is the house of your intuition, letting her rest on Mother Earth. And you can just feel the steadiness of the mat beneath you. And then I want you to really gently, you can just feel a little bit of weight on the forehead. I want you to keep that tiny bit of pressure on the forehead, but roll your head gently to the right. So you just roll toward the temple. And then roll back toward the center. Do it like you're getting a massage, like really like rubbing the head against the mat. Don't lift and turn. You want to actually roll your head side to side. So it's more about like literally massaging the skin of the forehead than it is about turning the neck. Yeah, that's it. Then we'll find that center, reach the arms forward, reach with a little enthusiasm, because I want you to get your hands toward the front of the mat, and then ground the palms and pull yourself up into a tabletop pose. In the tabletop, let's just line up the hands under the wrists, the knees under the hips, and we'll rock a little bit forward and back. Just rock it forward and back. Feel a little bit of movement in the wrist, in the shoulders, and the hips. So we like little by little, the core stays engaged and we just take the weight forward and then we take the weight back, and it's so simple, but it's actually such a nice way to start touching the major joints of the body. And then we're going to turn this rocking forward and back into something we call the dancing lion. And that means you have kind of like a free flow. Like there's no rules, there's no instruction except for really letting your body move and try to articulate all of the vertebra in the spine, so you can feel movement from the tailbone all the way to the base of your skull. So don't be afraid to let your body move. If it feels better, close your eyes. I think sometimes that helps. It's that like dance like nobody's watching thing. Yeah. So when you don't feel the other eyes on you, you feel a little more free about the movement. And we all respect each other in that moment. Let's start to pull it back towards center and then start moving in the other direction, which at first might feel a little awkward. We're not used to going that way, but I'm going to go that way because yoga is teaching us about balance. And it's helping us move away from what is dominant in us and making everything feel normal. And so even if it feels weird at first, we do it because then we can move through the weirdness and have it become just what we do. And then we'll settle in toward the center. Let's tuck our toes, lift our knees a couple of inches. It's just a great way to get your attention. Squeeze your hands a little bit toward each other. Try to spread your feet a little bit apart so you feel the core engaged. Try not to let your head hang too low. Maybe look at the front edge of your mat. And then nice and slow, move into your first downward facing dog. Get a good press through the handprints. And then try to press back into your legs and let the legs straighten. You don't have to press your heels down. Just one breath at a time, we start to move through the tension that lives in the body, especially early in the morning. And then if you would, start to shift the weight forward, shoulders over the wrist, bend your knees, and come into that floating table again. Yeah, not where you thought you were going. But let's just see if we can start to normalize this instead of it being something so foreign and so unwelcomed, you know? And then right from here, pull in the belly, lift yourself up and back. Just take yourself into that downward facing dog. And again, try to straighten your legs so you feel a little bit of the tension leave the body, the head hangs free. And then just go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. Take the pressure off of the arms. Nice and easy. Keep the knees bent, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. Let's move through the body. Come up like a rag doll. Let the head come up slowly. Once you come up, let's lift the shoulders to the ears and then just roll them toward the back. Then lift them up again, roll them forward. Drop your chin to your chest, soften your knees, and just roll yourself back down. I love that. And then inhale, look up and lengthen. Let's walk it out into that first plank. I feel like you guys are itching for the plank. That's where you all wanted to go before, right? So here's your plank pose. And then you can put your knees down, or you can just lower your whole body down. We're going to try to do it in one plane with the core engaged. So lay yourself down all the way onto the belly, and then inhale into cobra. It's your first back bend of the day. So elbows are bent. You stay kind of low. The hip bones are on the floor. The hands are on the floor. And we don't rest on the elbows. The elbows are kind of back. There you go. You got it now. The shoulder blades squeeze a little bit closer together so you can feel the collarbones open up. So it's not about making it a big pose. It's about making it purposeful. And we can really learn something important here in Cobra that we could take into the rest of our practice. Right? It doesn't have to be so big. It doesn't have to be so deep. It has to be purposeful and meaningful. We don't want to compress our bones. We want to tone our muscles, and we want to increase circulation. We want to create fluidity in the joints, right? This is about self-care. Take one more breath right where you are, and then release the chest down, and push back to child's pose. So child's pose, again, we just have an opportunity to feel what it feels like to soften at the hips, to bend at the knees. So this is where you can give yourself a break. If at some point in the practice later, I do something that aggravates you or agitates you, you can do this. And it would be actually really great communication to the teacher that I may have pushed the edge, right? So you're giving me information every moment of the practice. And we're going to return to our tabletop pose, lining up hands under shoulders and knees under hips. So again, it's on purpose. And then please stretch your right arm forward and your left leg back. Nice and simple. Think of it as spinal balancing. The leg is trying to pull the left side long, and the arm is trying to pull the right side long, and your core is trying to hold it together in the center. So all of that's happening, and it's your job to manage it, balance it, navigate it. Maybe spread the fingers and the toes so you feel it all the way through to the edges. And then just take one more breath here. Let's lift a tiny bit higher just so you get the muscle contraction on the back body, and then put it down. Simple. Switch sides. Left arm, right leg. And again, it's that right leg trying to pull the right side long, and the left arm pulling the left side long, and then the belly comes in, the rib cage comes in, right? We try to hold it together in the center so there's some sense of balance. And then we'll take one more breath and just lift a little bit here just to feel the muscle contraction, and then release. Let it go. Good. Tuck your toes, float your tabletop. Feel the integration of the core, and then hold that feeling of integration with you as you go to down dog. Keep the hands squeezing together. Extend the legs long behind you. Let your head down. Good. Let's take one more breath here, and then simply look forward and walk your feet to the top of the mat. So each moment, each breath, we're just going to keep awakening something in the body. Lift halfway. Inhale. Fold deeply. Exhale. Use a flat back and come all the way to standing. Lift your head and chest. Start to reach the arms high. Let's hook our thumbs together, and as we reach up through the ribs, can we pull the tailbone slightly down? And then take a little stretch over to the right. You'll feel your left side waking up. Keep pressing through your feet as you reach through your fingers. I better go with you guys. And then come back to the center and switch to the other side. Feels so good to open up the rib cage. And in yoga, we're breathing deeply, right? So we want to stretch those intercostal muscles. Let there be space between your ribs, and then pull it back together. Let's release our arms down by our sides. All right, inhale for chair pose. Bend your knees, reach your arms. We want to try to sit down and in the whole footprint, right? So we don't want to be so heavy in the toes or so heavy in the heels. We want to actually feel the whole footprint. Press through all 10 of your toes equally. That's so good. Now, just fold halfway so the chest hovers over the knees, and then sweep your arms behind you. Let's see if we can lift the arms a little higher than our own back. Yeah, so that footprint still feels equal. Even though we changed position, you might have to sit back in the heels a little more. And as you sit back in the heels, can you reach out with your chest a little more? Yes, that was so good. Now arms lift a little higher, and then clasp them together behind your back, and then straighten those legs and say, ah. Let the head down. Yeah, so a little stretch for the shoulders. Let the head down. Try bending the right knee. That means the left one gets a little more stretch. And then switch, bend the left, and let the right one get a little more stretch. And then soften both knees. Release your arms. Let's inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale, fold. With a flat back, we come up again. Head up, chest up. Reach the arms all the way out and up. Let's touch the palms together and then pull it right into the heart. Nicely done. Vinyasa time. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Lift halfway on the in-breath. Let's go to plank pose. Plank pose and lower. Do it your way. Chaturanga or the belly or even knees down. They're all good. Inhale for cobra with integrity and purpose. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Good, I like how you're moving. Let's take the right foot, step forward to the hands. Come up for high crescent lunge. All right. Nice and simple, no drama here. Vinyasa, hands down. Step back lightly, lower nice and slow. A little bit of heat's going to start to build. Inhale during cobra. And then as you exhale, you go back to down dog. Let's try the high crescent on the other side. Take your time. If I'm getting ahead of you, just you do it at your pace. Left foot steps. We reach up, the arms to the sky. We're in that lunge. And we can feel new sensations here. All of a sudden, the front of the hip is starting to pull on the right side. Maybe you can lengthen the torso up a little bit more, get a little more length out of the spine. And it's interesting, if you draw the tailbone slightly down and lift the back ribs up, you can actually release some tension in your lower back. So we'll just do that for one more breath. And then just let it flow. Hands come down. Step back lightly and lower. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. I'm starting to see some of those. And then back to downward facing dog. Okay. Let's come up high on the toes, come into the floating table. Hover there for just a moment. Make sure you're looking forward. And then put the knees down gently. Right arm forward, left leg back. Coming back to what we already did, seeing if it comes into integration a little bit quicker. All right, now I want you to keep that leg back there, but put your hand back down. And then squeeze that left knee into the belly. Yep, squeeze it in tight. Try to keep your gaze forward so we're not rounding, just squeezing at the hip flexor. And then keep that knee bent really nice and tight, but open it out to the left. Pick it up as high as you can. Ooh, say hello to your hips. Some of you like it, some of you don't. Activate your foot. Either point your toes or flex your foot so it feels all the way integrated. Go ahead and then put that knee back down. You can make a sound. Go ahead, take left arm forward, right leg back. Just come back to what you know. Stretching, lengthening, balancing the spine. And then all of that, it should feel somewhat like this. Don't make it too big. Left hand down, right knee squeezes in. Keep the weight even in both hands. Keep your core engaged and see if you can lift it out to the right side. Try not to lean so heavy over to the left side. Just kind of keep it in your tabletop. It doesn't matter how high you get the knee. Sometimes we get wrapped up in the wrong part, right? Keep your foot active. It makes it easier. Point or flex. And then pull the knee back down. That's it. Child's pose. So something's starting to happen. I can see the agitation already beginning. All right, when you're ready, Find your way into downward facing dog. Now in this down dog, I want you to paddle your feet. So we're gonna like lift one heel, then lift the other, bending the knees and actually moving through the hips. So you feel those outer hips that you were just challenged with, those get a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, so you gotta find that sensation. You kind of stick it out to the right, you stick it out to the left, and you get a little bit of that stretch in there. Good, and then go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. Here we go. Let's keep the fingertips on the floor. They could be slightly forward of your feet so you can actually touch the ground. And then go ahead and lift your right leg behind you. Nice and easy. Fingertips are on the floor. The leg is lifted behind you. Now look up and lengthen. There, no drama there. Touch the ground and lift your leg, right? Now, hold everything the same, but pull the right knee into the belly. And then see if you can take that leg out to the side. Keep it bent. Don't get ahead of yourself. Later, I might ask you to straighten it, so you don't want to have to do that now. That's it. I like it. Bring the knee back in, place your foot down. Try the other side. Left leg reaches up behind you. Sort of not so bad when you just have to lift it behind you, but everything changes when you got to go out to the side because we don't move sideways, right? Yoga is designed to help us touch and do the things we don't do in normal life. Pull that left knee in and then open it out wide to the side. Just pick it up. You didn't even know you had a muscle there, right? That's it. Just hold it there for a moment so it gets a little bit of juice. And then bring the knee back in, place your foot down. Let's roll it up like a rag doll. It should feel really good. Fill your lungs, come up like a bubble to the surface. Roll those shoulders back. On your inhale, let's reach the arms high. And then exhale, fold right in. You guys are going to be thinking about me in 2 days. Yeah. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Let's walk it out into plank pose. Do what we know. Vinyasa, lower nice and slow. Inhale for cobra pose. Yep. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, look forward. Just walk your feet to the top of the mat. Empty out your lungs. So when you get there, you can inhale and lift halfway. Fill those lungs. And then exhale, fold. With a flat back, rise all the way up to standing. Let's reach the arms high and then pull the hands right into heart center. Good, nice and easy. Well, let's lift the right leg. I'm used to mirroring, but go right side. Just hold your balance. Yeah, let's see if we can flex the foot. So the sole of the foot actually feels almost a little stretch. Yeah, and just work on that balance. Press the palms together so you feel the midline, and then see if you can open it out wide. So good, everyone. Bring it back in. Put it down gently. Let's do the left side. Just pick it up. It's nice and bent. Get the sole of the foot stretching, toes spreading. Take it out a little bit. Just open it wide. Good. And then bring it back to center and place it down. Let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Move through the breath. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Go to plank and lower on the exhalation. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, take it back to down dog. All right, come forward into your plank again and hold. We're going to roll onto our right side for Vashisthasana. That's a side plank. We won't hold it for long. Just lift the left arm up. Good. And then just switch to the other side. Left hand down, right arm up. Use the center of the body. Lift the hips and the ribs. That's it. Return to plank. Lower down nice and slow. That wasn't bad at all. You guys are good sports. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, down dog. So yeah, that was okay. Let's come in. Let's do it again. Come forward into plank. Roll onto your right side. This time, left arm goes up, left leg comes up. Just separate the legs. There you go. Just see if you can feel that outer hip work. So good, everyone. Return to plank. Switch sides. You're capable of so much more than you realize, but you have to try. We have to step out of the box sometimes. Lift the foot. Separate those legs. And then pull it back together. Plank pose and lower. Inhale, cobra pose. And then exhale, downward facing dog. This is how we get stronger This is how we confront some of our weakness. It's actually okay. Let's take one more breath here. And then look forward. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Flat back rising all the way to standing. Push down into the feet, reach up for the sky, and then pull your hands right to the heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Let's go to plank pose. Just kidding, lower down nice and slow. Inhale, cobra. You thought I was going to make you do another one. Exhale, down dog. Here comes high crescent lunge. The right foot steps. Stay on your left toes, kind of like we did at the beginning. Rise up, reach for the sky, and then please turn open to your left for warrior two. That's it. So good. Now I want you to feel this cross body work. Feel the relationship between that right knee trying to open and that left arm and chest trying to open. Those are moving in opposing forces. See if you can make some more space. That's it. I like what I see. Reverse your warrior just because it feels so good. Keep looking up toward that hand. It's the right hand up to the sky. And as you reach up and stretch up and look up, let's bend that right knee just a little deeper. All right, return to warrior two. Take a breath. On the exhale, flow it out. Both hands down. Step back lightly, lower nice and slow. Hips are starting to warm up. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale right back into downward facing dog. Same thing, other side, nice and simple. Left foot steps up. Stay on your right toes as you come up. Find your balance. Once you have that high crescent, you can turn open to your right side, warrior two. We're working on opening the left hip. Feel the relationship between what's going on with that left leg and the right arm. So your consciousness is spread across the body. Yeah, I want you to feel the spaciousness that happens when the left knee and the right hand move apart. That's it. So we're just looking for space. Nothing is compressed. Now, I know that you found your place, so hold it, but then reverse the warrior. Right arm down, left arm up to the sky. See if you can make that left side waist a little longer. And as we look up and stretch up and reach up, can you bend that left knee? Just feel that down and that up, even if it's shaking. Pull in the pelvic floor and the lower belly. Find the steady and return to your warrior two. One deep breath. And then flow it out. Both hands down. Step back lightly, lower, nice and slow. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. All right. Lift up high onto your toes. Bend your knees, come into floating tabletop. Hover for one breath. And then gently put your knees down. Line up the knees underneath the hips, hands under the shoulders. Right arm forward, left leg back. Just feel that again. Feels familiar, so it's not so bad. Your body knows it, so it's a little more adaptable. Maybe you can add a little bit of enthusiasm. Yeah, like the fingers and the toes get involved. Let's lift just a touch. Feel the back body strength. And then keep your leg there, but put your hand down. Let's bend that knee into the belly. And then lift it out wide to the side. Ooh, now you get to straighten it. Straighten that left leg out to the left. Push out through the heel, but try not to lean right. Check into your elbows. Yeah, that's it. You got it. It might be burning. Just look at it for a second. Look at the left foot, and then put it right down, right there on the side. Make sure your foot goes flat, and then walk your hands back to your right knee. Once the hands come back, you can stand up on the right shin. Reach your arms up to the sky. So good, everyone. Arms open out like a T. Let's take a stretch to the left. Side body work. Feel the pinky toe of that left foot grounding you. The toes should be pointing forward. That's it. Now, using the core, pull the belly in, return to arms like a T. Let's go over to the other side. Right hand down to the ground. Left arm is up. It's kind of easier than that side plank, but we're gonna play with it. We're gonna lift that left leg up. Take the left leg off the ground. Try not to kick your neighbor. Now, streamline the core. Ribs in, tailbone in. You can feel this is strong. This is side body. Now, left bicep over the ear. Body long. Simple but not easy. There is nothing contortionist about this. This is mindfulness. Take another breath. Lift your arm up. Place your left foot down. From your core, rise back up, arms like a T. Good. Then hands forward, place them on the mat. Let's lift the left leg out to the side. Bend the knee, pull it back in, and place it down. Nicely done. Child's pose. I think it will feel really good. Pretty certain that if you didn't come to yoga today, you wouldn't have done that, right? So let your body just feel it, you know, like let's be in what we just touched so we have a new relationship, a new awakening. It's called pranification, right? Where we bring vitality and liveliness into ourselves. Now, tabletop pose. Starts really simple. Hands squeezing, belly in, a little integration. Left arm forward, right leg back. Just like you know, but do it with a little bit more grace, with a little bit more consciousness. Maybe you feel the fingers and the toes. Maybe you can even internally rotate the back leg a little bit more so your toes don't turn out. You can feel the contrast. And we lift a little so the back body muscles start to awaken. And then left hand down, right knee in. Take it out to the side, lift it. Now, let's see if we can extend it. Push it out to the right. Push out through the heel. Try not to lean left. That's the challenge. Right? Yeah, you got it. Now look at it. See if you can just put it down right there on the side. Toes pointing forward. Get it flat. Walk your hands back and stand tall on the left shin. Let's reach our arms up high. Yeah, that reach up should feel really good. It gives you a moment to make sure your feet are grounded, that your knee doesn't hurt, like all of the things, right? And then open your arms like a T. Let's take a stretch to the right. Just go ahead, take it over to the right. You guys go this way. Yeah, don't follow me. So we stretch and reach down. As we reach up, it all feels super yummy. Press down a little bit with the left shin and ankle so you don't have as much pressure on your kneecap. And then return to arms out like a T, and we go to the other side. Now, left hand down. Reach out a little bit further than your mat, so the hand is under the shoulder, and then all of a sudden you can start lifting the right leg up. Yeah. Now flex the foot. Start using the sole of the foot. Pull your toes right up toward your knee. It makes the whole leg feel integrated. There we go. Bicep over the ear. You were hiding behind those poles the whole time. I didn't see you until your face came out to the side. Oh my gosh. That's how you like it, behind the scenes. Arm comes up, leg goes down. Use your core, return up to the center. Beautiful. Both hands forward. Place your hands on the mat. We're going to lift that right leg, pull the knee into the belly, and then place it back down. Just one breath in child's pose. It will feel good to stretch that out. Sit into the glutes. Use your hands to push yourself back. Okay. On your next inhale, make sure the arms reach forward. And then on the exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. Start to walk your hands back to your feet. Don't walk all the way. Keep them a little forward of the feet and get on your fingertips. And then look up and lengthen. Make the spine a little longer. Yeah. Keep the fingertips on the ground. So maybe the hands are 6, 8, maybe 10 inches in front of your feet, right? Hands are right under your own shoulders. And go ahead and lift that right leg behind you. Got it. Bend the knee, pull it in toward the belly, and then take it out to the right. Once it gets out there, can you straighten it? Push out through the heel. Now, you got to lean some weight into your right hand because I'm going to ask you to pick up your left arm and reach it out to the left side. Right there. We're reaching in both directions. Doing it on purpose. You guys are amazing. Take one more breath right there. Put the left hand down, bend that right knee, pull it back into center, and release. Roll up like a rag doll. Take your time. Squeeze your hamstrings, squeeze the tailbone, the glutes. Roll up through each vertebra. How we doing? You okay? Inhale, arms reach. You guys look really vibrant. You look happy. It's a good sight. Forward fold, let it go. The fingertips find their place on the floor a little in front of you. And then the left leg is going to go out behind. Don't lift too high, right? It's not about how much, it's about how we do. Bend the knee into the body, lift it out to the left. See if you can straighten it now. There's your challenge. Tighten up those quadriceps, so if you tighten the knee and you flex the foot, the whole leg feels more integrated. Lean a little weight on your left hand. See if you can pick the right arm up out to the side. There you go. Now that leg is sneaky. Some of you have let that leg sneak out behind you. Bring it forward. Come on, pull it forward. I see that, Maria. You got it. Pull it forward. Whoopsie. That's it. Take one more breath. And then put your hand down. Let's bend the knee and pull it back in. Good. Place your foot down. Roll it up like a rag doll. We're always so worried about the inner thighs and the inner groins. What about the outside? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Let's walk it out to plank pose. Good. Lower down nice and slow. Get back in the rhythm with your breath. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead and lift your right leg behind you right here. And then if you would, just step your right foot to the outside of your left foot. So go behind and step it to the outside so your pinky toes are near each other. And then push back, see if you can get your heels flat. That feels interesting, right? Now, a lot of you have your hips kind of tilted. See if you can square them. And then once you're there, you can start walking your hands back to your feet. Can you get the weight even in both feet? Can you have a sense of humor about it? Yeah, we're going to stay in that forward fold. We're going to start to feel that crossing of the midline. Be with that for a moment. Let your brain wrap around your feet being in the wrong position, right? It feels weird to look at. You can feel a little extra weight in one heel and then the other, and you can feel what happens. The foot translates all the way up to the outer hip. All right. Now I want you to make sure that you have a little bit of weight on your hands. So walk them a little bit forward. Make sure that you are standing solid on your left leg. Right? And then lift the right leg back up behind you. We're going to keep that leg in the air. So it's the right leg in the air. We're standing on the left and we have the right one in the air. So Carol, switch that for me. Switch your feet. Switch legs. Switch legs, that's all. This one up. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going to walk it out into a one-leg plank. Just hold it right there. And then one leg down dog. Lift your hips, stretch your right leg higher. Good. Here we go. Step forward with that right foot all the way to the hands, and then place your left knee down. We're going to wiggle the right foot out a little wider and put both hands on the inside. Let your head down. That's it. Breathe. Catch Kathy. That is amazing. Total yoga dog. She's ready for Shavasana. All right, let that head go. And then turn the right toes out a little more, just the toes, and then lift the big toe and roll that hip open just a little bit. That should feel really good. Just let that knee drop open, let that inner thigh start to stretch a little bit. And I love what some of you are doing. You're adding a twist, so go ahead, keep your left hand on the floor, put the right hand on the knee, and make that feel good. Yeah. On purpose. Not the biggest, not the deepest. The one that feels intuitively right in you today. Take one more breath. And then eyes go down. Let's put the hand down and take that right foot across the mat. We're going to come into pigeon. It will be the saving grace of your outer hips, your piriformis and your glutes, so that maybe I won't be speaking to you for as many days. Go ahead and lay down into that. I know that this one is a little contortionist. This one is a little more complex. There's magic here, I can feel it. Can you be gentle with yourself? I can hear it sing. Let's make sure that right knee stays on the right side of the mat and it doesn't sneak into the middle. You okay there, Michael? Yeah? You okay? A little bit of your body weight on the right leg is okay. Sometimes what I like to do here is get up on my elbows instead of laying all the way in. And then I kind of can pull my tailbone down and lift my ribs and my chest forward and get a little bit of traction while I do the pose. Yeah, there's lots of variations, so I'll leave an open space here. If there's some other thing you're feeling in your body, you can do it. If you've never done this pose before and you have no idea what any variation would be, that would mean you just stay right where you are. This is an all levels class, so we start with what is simple and we leave room for the more complex so everybody can get what they need. Yoga is an all-inclusive practice. It's a gift to humanity. It wasn't just meant for some people. It is literally meant for all people. All ages, all shapes, all colors, all sizes, all genders, every single thing you could think of, all abilities. So simple, I can't think of a better thing to be a part of at this time in history than something that is all-inclusive, something that might help bring us together. Take one more breath. Let's slowly start to get back onto our hands. Start to walk the hands in. We're going to tuck the left toes, and we're going to take that right leg all the way up and back into a one-leg down dog. Oh yeah, stretch it up in the air. You can make a sound if you need to. Let it float there for a second. Don't do anything crazy. Just let the blood drain. Let the hip replace and rebalance itself. And then put that right foot down and paddle your feet. Move the circulation through your toes, ankles, knees, hips. Feel the muscle tissue on the outer hips as you lean into one side and then lean into the other. Just breathe. You can't hear? You can't hear me? Because the music is too loud? Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Will that help everybody? Okay. Just a little. Okay. All right. Let's walk our hands back to our feet. Did we do both sides of the balance? Yeah, we did. No, but we didn't do the other. I know. I was going back too far. We have to go back to down dog. Sorry. Walk it forward. I was taking you. Uh-oh. I got a dead spot. All right, left leg goes up in the air. Go ahead, lift it up high. And then stretch it up a little higher, and then we're going to take it and cross it behind the outside. Behind and to the outside of the right foot. And then just see if you can square your hips and start pressing into both heels. So we stay in down dog there. Just see what it feels like to try to move the hips a little bit. Straighten the legs, ground the heels. It might not happen, but that's the direction because we want our feet solid on the ground as we start moving our hands back. Some of you are already there. Go ahead, walk the hands back toward the feet. Again, see if you can even out the weight in your feet. Work on straightening the legs a little bit. Both feet flat if possible. And maybe the hips a little more square. Yeah, we start to work on stretching across the midline. Balance can be challenging here. IT bands challenging, lots of things happening in the body. And I want you to make sure that you're standing solid on your right foot. Have a little weight on your hands so that you can lift the left leg up behind you. Lift that left leg up. And then start walking forward into a one-leg plank. Feel the core. There's integration here. The leg is active behind you. And then this turns into a one-leg down dog. Lift the leg high and then look forward. Left foot steps to the hands. Drop the right knee softly down and wiggle the foot a little to the left so you can get both hands on the inside. Both hands are on the inside. The head can bow humbly forward. See where you can soften. And I love how this pose can look different on everyone. We all get what we need. That was amazing, Michael. I love how you're moving. Now we're going to turn those left toes out a little bit. Just turn the toes out. Keep your heel where it is, but the foot goes out on a diagonal, and then let the left knee drop open. Can you lower it a little bit? There's some bass going on that's too much in the speaker. Yeah. Thank you. And then you can put your left hand on your knee and add a twist here if it would feel good. Knee open. Right hip dropping down a little as the chest opens up and back. And sometimes lifting the arm up feels good, but for me, I like keeping my hand on my knee so I can actually push and open myself up. But it's up to you. Any variations work here. I'm happy to see any kind of movement in the body. As long as we're breathing and moving every day, we're going to be a little healthier. Let's put our eyes down, our hands down, and wiggle that left foot over to the right side for pigeon pose. The shin goes across the mat. We drop the left knee to the left, and we start to slide the right leg back so we can lower into the hips. I didn't really instruct that on the first slide, but everybody seemed to get it. And some hips are more agreeable than others, right? Some are tight and they say, hell no, it's Saturday morning, what do you think you're doing? And so be nice. Maybe roll onto your back. Maybe your knee doesn't like this. Maybe it's not the hips at all. So you can roll on your back and you can cross your ankle to your knee and you can just hug it in. There's lots of ways to create different variations. And I only speak to it if I see you it's struggling. I don't want anyone to struggle. do this as mindfully as you did the lifting of your legs out to the side, the balancing with one arm out to the side, the other leg out to the other side. I know you were present when that was happening. Could you be that present now? Not check out, but maybe look at this as an opportunity to check in. And you can stay there laying down into the pose, or if you have another variation you want to explore, you can do that too. I sometimes just like being on the elbows instead of laying in there so deep and looking for ways to create space. When I get on the elbows, I can lengthen my right leg back, I can draw my tailbone down, and I can pull my sternum and my ribs forward. And it feels really good. I think if we continue to lengthen the waistline and we continue to pull space between the hips and the ribs, we're much less likely to shrink every year when we go to the doctor, right? Yeah. So we continuously lengthen the side body. It's true though. It's the discs and there's nothing in between, the rib cage and the hips, everything's soft here. So if we don't keep muscle tone, we just sink in and then the whole spine compresses. I am only 5'2". There is nowhere to go from here. I can't go down. Take one more breath here. And then walk some weight up onto your hands. Tuck your right toes. And let's lift that left leg up in the air behind us. One leg down dog. Make it feel really good. That is it. That is beautiful. Let the blood drain for a moment. Let things rebalance. And then you put that foot down and paddle your feet. That means move through your toes, your ankles, your knees, and your hips. I want you to feel all of that. Think about it. Toes, knees, ankles, hips. Let the hips stick out to one side and then maybe to the other. And then we're going to take one last vinyasa. So let's do it slow and mindful. Come forward into plank, take a breath. As you exhale, lower down nice and slow. Inhale into a sweet back bend. And then find your way to down dog for the last time this morning. When you're ready, come to a comfortable seated position. Believe it or not, this simple cross-leg position is known as the quintessential yoga pose. All of the yoga poses have names. Utkatasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana, right? Urdhva Hastasana, everything has asana at the end. Asana means to sit. It's the pose. This is it. So after all the movement, after opening the hips, after lengthening the spine, you're giving yourself the chance to be able to sit a little more comfortably. And then this is where the yoga happens. We get to be still and be quiet. And even though the world continues to move around us, we can still choose to be still. And as the body becomes still and the mind goes to the breath, maybe the mind gets a little quiet. And so we use this pose, we call it Sukhasana. And we do what is the main goal of yoga, and that is to quiet the mind. Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that's what it means, the second sutra. The cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. I know all the other stuff is important. And right now you're being tested. You're getting little drizzles on your skin. There's probably no more drizzle happening on your skin than your own sweat. And there's probably a shower in your future in the next hour. So it's just water, right? It's just water. Take one more breath. As you exhale, start to blink your eyes open. Let's unfold our legs. Put our feet on the ground. Keep the feet on the ground. Reach your arms forward. Start to lean back. Look up slightly. Turn the palms up as if to say, I'm not going to run from you. I welcome you. Don't call it in too much because we don't want the sky to open. Thank you. You don't realize how the collective energy of a whole group like this could open the sky. Us yogis are powerful. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Lift your heart a little higher. Open your arms out like a T. It. I know you want to come out, and I know you think this should be done by now, but if we don't challenge ourselves right past that moment, we never get stronger. Take your arms up, biceps to the ears. Keep drawing the tailbone down, keep lengthening upward, lift your chest. Try not to sink into your lower back. We're almost there. Now the most important cue. Lift the corners of your lips. You got it. And then open your arms out wide. So much better that way. Bring the arms back in front of you. Grab your knees, round your back, rest your head. You're so smart. And then we'll roll it down onto our backs. Here comes the sun. Pull the right knee into the belly, give it a squeeze. And then switch to the other side. One leg bent, one leg straight, a little balancing, just like we've been doing the whole practice. Let's go ahead and pull both knees in. Put one hand on each knee. Let's open them a little wider so you feel a little pull on the groins, and you can actually feel the softness of the outer hips. And with those legs wide, start to rock a little side to side, as if you could feel the massaging of that deep tissue around the glutes. Roll to the side so you can feel yourself into the tender spots. Use the mat beneath you to create the pressure and the feedback. And then find center and reach for your feet. Let's open up into happy baby pose. Once you find that space, just breathe. 3 breaths. And then we'll release our feet, pull the knees together, give yourself a good squeeze. And then release both of your legs over to the right side for a spinal twist. Think of it as like a last chance to wring out tension, not to go deeper or to create muscular energy, but to soften. Let your arms open like a T and look out to your left. Can hear the bagpipes coming. I love the smell of the rain. Take a deep breath through your nose. See if you can smell the freshness. Summer rain. And then we'll roll it around to the other side, nice and easy. Bring your head to the center and your knees to the center. You can give yourself one more squeeze and then we let everything go. And just release it all out for Shavasana, which is our final resting pose. Start to notice how you awaken. Where does your attention go first? Do you stay still but start thinking? Do you immediately go to move? Maybe it's the breath. You have an opportunity to bear witness to yourself right now. Without any judgment, not thinking one way is right or wrong, but just getting to know yourself. Now, as all of those things start to happen, breathing and moving and mind and consciousness awakening and becoming more present, you just pull it all together. Again, that idea of union. As we learn to pull ourselves together and see all of the different aspects of ourselves and really start to bear witness to our wholeness, we are setting ourselves up to be able to see all of the differences in the world and to somehow recognize the wholeness in everything else. We are not broken, we are perfectly imperfect. And we just have work to do, internally and externally, So my hope is that we will just keep getting on the mat together. We'll keep learning, one day at a time, 1 week at a time. And the next thing you know, it's 10 years later, and here we sit together in the park, right? How amazing. When you're ready, pull yourself together and come to seated. Take a nice deep breath. Recognize that breath as your vitality and your aliveness. And recognize each one of those breaths as a gift. Think about how many of those breaths happen in a day without you even noticing. And without that breath, you're not here anymore. Let's cherish each and every one. And when it comes down to it, every one of us that walks this planet, every sentient being, even the creatures, believe it or not, even the trees, we're all breathing. And that's what makes us alive. So imagine if we can just pare it down to that. There's some sameness in that, right? There's some union. That is how the yoga works. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. Together we'll sound the sacred and beautiful sound of Om. It's the universal sound. It's like taking the energy that's within me and within each and every one of us and letting the sound come up and out and come together. Again, just another way of creating that union. So one deep breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Om Peace, Peace, perfect peace. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the actions of my own life and all of our lives somehow contribute to that happiness and that freedom for all. May we all know peace, peace, perfect peace. Namaste. Namaste. Here, this way too. And to you on the lawn and back there, to everyone, thank you. I love you all so much. Have a happy Saturday. Thank you for not calling in a downpour. I almost said, like, just call it in, and then I was afraid the sky was going to open up and everyone would run. It's raining in Delray, pouring. That's so funny. Yeah, we have a beautiful day. Somehow the sun always shines on Sanborn. So 2 little quick announcements. Tomorrow, Sunday, I have 2 things going on, 2 events. My regular Sunday morning practice, we call it Sacred Sunday, and it is hosted by the one and only Farmer's Table. Right out on the patio, poolside at the Farmer's Table. It's so beautiful. We have Joey right here. We are always in partnership, always in collaboration. So we host the beautiful practice outside on the pool deck, and then when it's from 8:30 to 9:30, and then they put all the furniture back and they open at 10, and we can all stay and have brunch. It's really a beautiful way to spend a Sunday. And then Sunday afternoon, from 1 to 4, I have partnered myself up with Dr. Shivani Gupta, one of the most beautiful women in the community. She is a doctor of Ayurvedic medicine, and I'm going to be teaching a series of workshops with her because Ayurveda is the sister science to yoga. So if you're curious about all of these things that I say, we're going to talk about how yoga and Ayurveda are sister sciences. You'll learn about your dosha, which is your nature, your constitution. So you'll understand what kind of foods are right for you, what essential oils are actually right for you, your sleep pattern, like all of the things, how to make a mindful medicine chest, how to create better sleep, all of the different things that actually work together with the yoga. So it's all happening tomorrow from 1 to 4. It'll be a 2-hour lecture and discussion. We'll have tea. We'll talk about all of the essential oils too. There'll be an interactive part, and then there's a yoga practice for 1 hour at the end. So if you're curious about any of that, there's still a little bit of space, not too much. We are totally limiting the space in studio, but the workshop is also available online. And even if you're not here, if you're listening to this practice at home in New York or wherever you're from, you can Zoom in live, do the workshop with us, and then we will send you the PowerPoint and the recording, so you'll be able to like have the information even if you can't be there live tomorrow. So lots of ways to access everything these days. It's actually a beautiful gift. And I think that's it. So happy Saturday. I hope I see you tomorrow. Happy Sunday. I called you in today. I woke up this morning and I knew you were going to be here. I don't know how. Oh, but I knew I would see you. That's a crazy feeling. Hi, my friend. Mwah. You're so welcome. Hi. Hi, Carmen. It's nice to meet you. The clipboards are up here. The city asks us to please sign in on the waiver of the clipboards. I have them both up front because of the rain, but if you wouldn't mind stopping here to sign the clipboards, and if you want to stay in touch about all of the activities and things we have going on in the community, I also have a clipboard here for emails. So if you want me to send emails like September 4th, there's not going to be any yoga in the park, I will send an email blast out to let everybody know. So if you want to be in touch, I don't bombard you with emails, just what's important. So you can give me your name and email, just print clearly. Hi, nice to see you. So clipboard. The clipboard, yeah, the waiver. They want us to. So we have the clipboards here. Here's a fresh sheet.
Now I see it does cost money because it wasn't working the parking, so now it does, right?
I don't know about the parking. Yeah, if they're... Okay, so yeah, make sure every week when you're coming that you're following parking rules and regulations. There is some free parking around. This is email list, and these are the two sign-in sheets. Thank you so much. So sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi.